Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we will be dealing with the 8th verse of the 10th chapter, which is a very important verse. So as usual, we will begin by reciting the verse. And those of you who have your copies of Bhagavad Gita with you, kindly open it to page 503. And those of you who do not have your copies, you can take a look at the verse that is given here on the blackboard. So kindly repeat after me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. We will have the men and the ladies alternately reciting the shloka. Would anyone like to chant? 10.8, page number 503. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah. So now we will read the word for word meaning. So kindly repeat after me. Aham, I, sarvasya, of all, prabhavah, source of generation, mattah, from me, sarvam, everything, pravartate, emanates, iti, thus, matva, knowing, bhajante, becomes devoted, mam, unto me, buddha, learned, bhava samanvitah, with great attention. Translation. Kindly repeat after me. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. I will also read the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya and who knows how to apply these teachings can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the material and spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. In the Atharva Vedas, it is stated that it was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again it is said, the Supreme Personality Narayan desired to create living entities. Again it is said, from Narayana Brahma is born, and from Narayana the patriarchs are also born. From Narayana Indra is born. From Narayana the 8 Vasus are born. From Narayana the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayana the 12 Adityas are born. It is said in the same Vedas, the son of Devaki, Krishna, is the Supreme Personality. Then it is said, in the beginning of creation there was only the Supreme Personality Narayan. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no fire, no moon, no stars in the sky, no sun. There was only Krishna, who creates all and enjoys all. In the many Puranas it is said that Lord Shiva was born from the highest, the Supreme Lord Krishna. And the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped. In the Moksha Dharma, Krishna also says, the patriarchs, Shiva and others are created by me, though they do not know that they are created by me because they are deluded by my illusory energy. In the Varaha Purana it is said, Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, from whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says that because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master and from Vedic literature, who engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness, becomes a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations in Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vansha Kalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. See here, Lord Krishna is declaring that he is the source of everything, that he is the Supreme Lord. And in this verse he is also defining what it means to be God. God means aham sarvasya prabhavah mattah sarvam pravartate. It means that everything should come from Him, that He should be the source of everything. This is the preliminary understanding of God. The Vedanta Sutra, also known as the Brahma Sutra, begins with this saying, Janmadi asyataha, that God, or the Supreme Absolute Truth, is He from whom everything emanates. That is the first definition or the understanding of God. So tomorrow if somebody asks you, what is the meaning of God? Immediately you should reply, God is He from whom everything emanates. Of course, if he wants further information, then we will give him further information upon what is the nature of that source. Who is that person? What are his qualities? What are his attributes? What are his names? Where he stays? So these are details that will come for a person who wants to know more. But at the preliminary level, the most basic understanding of God is that He is the source of everything. He has no source. He has no origin. But He is the origin of everything. We can all see that both you and I, we have some origin. We have a source, our parents. And then our parents had their parents, and so on and so forth. Similarly, in this world also you can see everything has a source. This microphone had a source. It was created by someone. This mridanga had a source. This room had a source. So everything in this world, whether animate or inanimate, has a source, a beginning. And if you trace it backwards, there will be a point when you will have to come to a full stop. And that full stop is God. Because you cannot proceed beyond that. Sometimes people ask, if you say we are all created by God, then who created God? But God has no source. He is the source of everything. That is the definition of God. So here also Lord Krishna is saying, Mattaha sarvam pravartate, that everything is emanating from Him. So this is the easy formula for having love and peace in the world. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan Ki Jai. So people in the world are lacking this very basic understanding of who is God. And that is why there is so much quarrel. There are so many attempts to build universal love, universal brotherhood, universal fraternity, and universal so many things. But ultimately they are all doomed to failure because they do not go to the origin, the root. The origin is God. Unless we have love of God, we cannot have universal love. There is no question of that. And if you love God, automatically you will love everything else and everyone else. So here, it is said that God is the source of everything. Now everything includes the whole universe also. The word everything, what does it mean? Whatever you can imagine and whatever you cannot imagine. Everything is included within this word, everything. So Krishna says He is the source of everything. So if you love Krishna, the Supreme Lord, who is the source of everything, automatically you love the entire universe. There is no need for trying to separately love all the different creatures of the universe. So the solution is simply to love Krishna, the origin of everything. Now, those of you who have gone abroad, you may have known when you are in a strange land and all of a sudden you meet some Indian or you see some Indian, what happens? Do you not feel a certain bond all of a sudden coming up? And you search your way out, you go and meet him. You go out of your way to meet that person and ask him, where are you from? Which part of the country are you from? Where have you come from? Why are you here? And you strike up a friendship with him. Why have you chosen that person among all others? There are hundreds of people on the street. But you spot this out as somebody belonging from the land of your origin. Isn't it? So immediately there is some love. There is some rapport that builds up. Because the origin is the same. You love the country, he also loves your country. Therefore, you love him. The origin is the same. Similarly, we see even here, people are coming from distant provinces to Bombay. From all over the country, people are coming to earn a livelihood. But still, even in a cosmopolitan city like Bombay, everyone is setting up their own associations. The Tamil Association, the Bengal Association, the Malayali Association. So everyone is setting up their own associations according to their narrow land of birth. Those who are Bengalis, they have a greater affinity for those who are Bengalis. So they form an association because they have a common origin. Isn't it? So similarly we see, if you trace it backwards, where does it all end? Who is the common origin of everything? Krishna, God. So therefore, we understand all of us are related. We are all related to that common origin point. So if we all together love Krishna, then automatically we will all be able to love each other very easily without any problems. Only when you try to love each and everyone separately, then you love somebody and you hate somebody. You like somebody, you dislike somebody. You embrace someone, you fight with someone. So this is the nature of the duality of this world, when your vision is disconnected from the origin of everything. We can see that right from childhood, even a child has a propensity to serve. Initially when he is very small, he is very, very selfish. He likes to work and act only for his own happiness. Whatever he finds that is pleasurable to him, he grabs it. And he cries for it and he insists that he must have it. Even if it means that the others are put to great inconvenience. He will have his way and he will have his pleasure. But as he grows, he begins to understand that I must also act for the pleasure of my friends. So he starts taking food from his mother for his friends and children. He starts being concerned about their welfare. As he grows older, he starts being concerned about the welfare of maybe some others, his family, and then maybe his neighbors. And in this way, his radius of concern and love keeps on expanding. And then gradually as a youth, he may be representing his community or maybe his nation. And maybe when he grows further, he will start talking about humanity, or he may be talking about protecting wildlife, about nature. So he will do all these things. But a person with the broadest vision, what does he do? He doesn't restrict himself to just seeking pleasure on the basis of his own identity individually. Neither does he seek happiness for just his community. He goes to the origin of everything, Lord Krishna. The origin must necessarily include everything. Because Lord Krishna is the origin of everything, naturally he also includes everything within himself. So therefore, if we truly are concerned about everyone, if we are concerned about this whole world, and indeed if you are concerned about yourself and your family, what to speak of the whole world, then we should all immediately begin to love Lord Krishna. That is the meaning of understanding God or having true knowledge. We may understand, yes, God is the origin of everything, but what is the practical implication of all this in your life? That's what is described here. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. That a person who understands this truly, he's called a Buddha. Now, a Buddha in Sanskrit means a person who's truly very learned, a man of wisdom. You've heard of Buddha, right? Gautama Buddha. The word Buddha also comes from this, the root Sanskrit, which means Buddha. So, Buddha means one who's very learned. A truly learned person is not one who has got a PhD or one who is a scientist or one who is simply a scholar of Sanskrit. A truly learned person is one who has understood that Lord Krishna is the origin of everything and that he is the Supreme Lord. And therefore, what does he do on the basis of this knowledge? Bhava samanvita. He says, iti matva bhajante mam. He immediately begins to render devotional service to me. He becomes my devotee. And he starts worshipping me how? Bhava samanvita. When spiritual emotion, in transcendental emotion, he begins to worship the Supreme Lord. This is the meaning of understanding God. So if tomorrow somebody talks to you, eventually when they know that you are becoming serious in Krishna consciousness, when you are studying Bhagavad Gita, many people will want to come and argue with you. And even when you speak to people, they will have so many questions for you. So when you talk to them, you say, yes, I also know that God is the source of everything. I also know that Krishna is the source of everything. So the answer should be that, well, if you really know that Krishna is the source of everything, if you know that God is the origin point, then why don't you worship him? Why don't you surrender to him? Why don't you become his devotee? This is the meaning of knowledge of a learned person. So one who is devoted himself to Lord Krishna is a person who truly understands in what way Lord Krishna is the origin of everything. And then he begins to love everyone and everything. It is described that Lord Krishna is the root of existence. And the entire creation is like the tree. The tree has many parts. It has leaves, fruits, flowers, branches, many parts. But if you separately try to water the flowers and the fruits and the twigs, do you think the tree will get nourished? It will die eventually. But a learned person understands where is the root of the tree. Simply by watering the root, automatically the water is sent to all different portions of the tree. The whole tree becomes nourished and strong, and it can yield many sweet fruits. So in the same way, if we are simply going to worship Lord Krishna, who is the root of all existence, then we need not separately try to serve each and every living entity or each and every different portion of this creation. Automatically, everything else will get serviced and satisfied. And our true love will manifest. We cannot truly love others, even if they are your own family members. This is important to understand. You cannot even love your closest and dearest and nearest ones unless you have love for Krishna. What we think is love is actually not true love. It is love simply on the basis of some bodily sentiment. That because this person is related to my body, therefore I love him. But this love will end very shortly. Or it may get disturbed by so many temporary disturbances that come into the picture. That is why you find father is getting separated from son, husband is getting separated from wife, brother and sister are separating, everyone, friends are separating, nations are separating, because that love is wrongly based. It is on a faulty, tottering platform. So even if we want to love anybody else, even if that person is our most dear and near one, we must realize that that love is not complete unless it is reposed in Lord Krishna. So if you love Lord Krishna, what to speak of your family members, you will love all creation. It is said, in fact Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavantiya tasam yonir mahat brahma aham bija pradah pita. He says, I am the seed-giving father of all existences. All these species, they come from me. Aham bija pradah pita. Therefore, I am that seed-giving father. In the Padma Purana, it is said that there are 8.4 million species of lives. The aquatics, the birds, the beasts, the plants, humans, and so on. And all these things, they all come from Krishna. Krishna says, I am the seed-giving father of all. Krishna does not say, I am only the seed-giving father of the Hindus. He doesn't say, I am the father of only the Hindus or the Indians. He is the father not only of the Hindus, but he is the father of the Muslims, of the Christians, of the Parsis, the Sikhs, everyone. He is the father of the Indians, the Americans, the Pakistanis. And not only that, he is also the father of the dogs and the cats and the trees and the plants, the lizards, the cockroaches, the ants, the mosquitoes. He is the father of everyone, all living entities. He is the supreme father and the only father. The other fathers and mothers of this world are simply surrogate fathers and mothers, secondary fathers and mothers. The real father and mother of all is Krishna. That is the vision for universal brotherhood and universal love. When we understand Lord Krishna is a seed-giving father of all, so everyone else is our brother. It is a wrong conception to try to propagate universal love, universal brotherhood on one hand, and then have slaughterhouses on the other hand. People are saying, yes, this person is my countryman, and therefore I will protect him. But on the other hand, I will not give protection to the cow. In the Vedic system, the king, he had such a vision, a spiritual vision, that he considered all the living entities in his land to be the citizens of the land. He didn't think it was only the human beings who were citizens of the land. And he was equally concerned for the welfare of all living entities, not only the human beings. There are so many stories in the scriptures given about this. There was a king called Shibi. This king Shibi, one day a bird came to him, a small dove. And he said, look, I am being chased by an eagle. So please protect me. You are the king of the land. So I am also your citizen. So you must protect me. So he said, all right, I will protect you from the eagle or the hawk. So soon, very soon, the hawk came there. And the hawk, he said, he saw that the dove was under the protection of the king, the powerful King Shibi, and he understood that he couldn't do anything. So he petitioned the king. He said, "My dear king, you are protecting this dove because he is your citizen, and rightly so, because your duty is to protect the citizens and to see their welfare. But please consider that as much as the dove is your citizen, I am also your citizen of your country. And it is as much your duty to protect me. This dove is my natural food. If you do not allow me to eat this dove, then I will starve to death. So how can you protect me unless you let me have the food?" So then Lord Maharaj Shibi, what did he do? He said, "All right, just to protect you, just to give you a proper food as is my duty, I will cut my own flesh." So he started cutting his own flesh and giving pound by pound of that flesh to the eagle. And soon, very soon, the dove and the hawk, they revealed their true positions. They were actually great demigods who had come to test Maharaj Shibi. But they saw that this was his vision. His vision was that not only are the human beings my citizens of this state, my praja, but even the animals, the birds, the insects are the praja of my land. And it is my dharma to actually protect them. The king is a kshatriya. The word kshatriya means one whose duty it is to protect others. So he protects all on this vision. Sarvayonishu kaunteya. Murtayah sambhavantiya. So that is the vision of a learned person. Because the king in the earlier times was guided by learned brahmanas. So he would rule according to the principles of dharma, according to the principles of the scripture. And therefore he would see with this broad universal vision. However, today what is happening? People are trying to foster relations between different communities which are always fighting with each other. They are trying to foster loving relationships between different countries. But unfortunately, their vision is defective. Because on one hand, they're trying to do this, and on the other, they're saying we cannot protect the cow, we cannot protect the goat. But that is not the vision. So the root is to love Krishna. If you love Krishna, automatically you will not be having this artificial disparity in loving one member of God's creation and then slaughtering the other. Equal vision begins from love of Krishna. There is a wonderful story in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about this, about a person who develops genuine love for all living entities simply by loving the Supreme Lord. Now once upon a time there was a hunter. His name was Mrigari. He was a very ferocious looking man. And right from childhood, he had been trained by his father, who was also a hunter, in the art of killing. And because that was the only thing he knew, he was killing many animals in the forest. And once the great sage Narad Muni was traveling through the forest, and he saw a very strange and a very painful sight. He saw along the way as he was walking, the whole path was strewn with different animals and birds lying half dead and flopping in the dying throes in agony. And he was wondering, who is the cruel person who has actually half killed these animals in this way? There were so many animals and birds like this. Eventually, as he walked on, he could see that there was a man who was planning to kill another animal. And this man had a very fierce look. He had bloodshot red eyes, he had a dark complexion, disheveled hair, and he was about to kill another living entity. And when Narad Muni approached, immediately the hunter, he came towards Narad Muni and said that you have disturbed my prey. I was just about to kill somebody, and by your coming here on this path, you have disturbed this living entity. This animal has run away. So Narad Muni prayed to this person that why are you killing in such a ferocious manner? Do you not know that you are causing so much pain? Why do you not just kill the entities? Why do you leave them half killed? So the hunter replied that, my dear sir, this is all I have known since childhood. He became very humble. Actually, incidentally, this is one of the great qualities of a saintly person. Immediately, just upon seeing him, even ferocious people become mild. It was said in the case of the great acharyas, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and the other great Goswamis of Vrindavan, that at that time, you see, the whole area was infested with many dacoits. Even today you will find that there are many dacoits. So it was said about them that even when great rogues and ruffians would come and see them, immediately they would become very mild and humble, and they would become meek and they would offer obeisances. Simply by just looking at them, because they radiated so much warmth and love and compassion, automatically their heart melted. So similarly, when Narad Muni came, Mrigari, who was such a fierce man, his heart melted. And he said, "My dear sir, why have you come here? You are asking me to half kill these animals, but actually this is all I have learned from my father right from childhood. I do not know any other way except half killing them." Then Narad Muni explained that you will be subject to very severe pain according to the law of karma, because you are subjecting these living entities to unbearable pain, so you will also have to suffer this pain. So my request to you is, please at least kill them completely at one shot. Don't leave them half dead in this way. So he said, all right. And then finally when Narad Muni understood that this hunter was beginning to soften, or he said, better still, if you really want to become freed from all this misery, you should just stop killing altogether. But the hunter was perplexed. He said, if I stop killing altogether, then how will I feed my family? How will I survive? So Narad Muni said, you don't worry. If you simply stop killing, I will ensure that you get all your supplies of food and whatever you need in this world. That is my lookout. It is my guarantee to you. Just simply stop killing. So then Narad Muni blessed this great hunter who was to later on become a great devotee. And he blessed him and told him to simply chant the names of the Lord, stay there, follow the basic principles of devotional service. And then he left. The hunter, he was very obedient. He followed all the instructions that his spiritual master Narad Muni gave him. And very soon news of his bhakti and his devotion to God spread far and wide. And all the people in the neighboring villages, they were struck with wonder because they saw the transformation. Such a ferocious hunter who was committing so many sinful activities, now he had become such a calm, sober, a great devotee of the Lord. So automatically everyone came and started supplying him grains and fruits and whatever else he needed. He had everything. So Krishna, through the medium of all these people, was supplying this hunter who had now become a great devotee with all his necessities of life. Then one day Narad Muni wanted to show his friend Parvat Muni the glories of this hunter devotee. So he took Parvat Muni along. And as they were coming, this hunter, Mrigari, who had now become a great devotee, he saw them approaching in the distance. And when he saw them, he started approaching them. And on the way, he started brushing aside very gently with his cloth some things that was on